20 minutes to 8 o'clock on 99 FM. Time for us to go on the daily grind with our King Price Royal Hustlers, brought to you by King Price Insurance. This morning, financially savvy, yes, very, very powerful when it comes to financial advice and consultancy in the land of the brave. Miss Afra Schimming-Chase is joining us. Good morning and welcome back to 99 FM.
Good morning, thank you. I'm glad to be back. It's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while since you've come and joined us on air.
Growing up initially was in Germany and Tanzania with my parents. We were the perfect white picket fence family. My father was a doctor, my mom was a teacher, and very secure, very nice kind of life, like nothing to speak about.
Comfortable, yeah.
Very comfortable.
Yeah.
But by the age of 5, 6, that kind of explodes completely. When we moved back to Namibia, my mom, myself, and my brother. My mom was in exile and she got amnesty at that point in 1978. Mm-hmm. And my father and my sister go to St. Lucia in the Caribbean, where he's from. So we live a split life. We go on holiday. It's very new, very different. Coming to Namibia is very different. And then I'm here from then until about the age of 13, and then we do some more, let's just shake your world again.
Yeah.
We move to Switzerland. Mom gets a job at the World Council of Churches. We live there, finish high school there, go to school with the likes of the Crown Prince of Kuwait.
Oh.
Whilst you're in your Pep Stores jacket in the winter. But how would they know that you're in your Pep Stores jacket? And we always love to tell the story. I'll never forget the first day of school in my boots falling in front of everyone on the snow. But I survived, I'm still here, right?
Yeah.
So, and then after Switzerland, home to Namibia, and interestingly, my mom seeing offers for scholarships, because of that, I graduated in 1990, so I'm no longer a victim of apartheid, so I can't get a scholarship that way. And I end up getting a scholarship from the French government, and I complete my tertiary education at l'Université de Mont-Saint-Aignan, studied law. Why? I don't know. But studied law, completed up to my postgrad. And then again, my mom sees an advert in the newspaper, and it's for a legal advisor at Old Mutual. I go through the interview process. I come and work at Old Mutual, and start off as a legal advisor. Have an absolutely amazing career in that organization. Take every opportunity I'm offered until 2006, 2007, where I have this beautiful little boy, and my priorities change, and I leave, and then I go to starting my own business, which I'm still at 13 years later. So I don't know if I'm passionate about law. I think I come from a background where education is key, where it's not negotiable. And I'm not a first generation of that. I mean, my mom and her sisters and brothers, they all had a tertiary education. So, from my grandparents, that is something that you don't discuss. So whatever the means, you are going to get yourself an education. What you do with that afterwards is your problem. So law was almost like the obvious choice, become a doctor, a lawyer, or what me. I was never good with the sciences. The minute I could drop them, I dropped them, including mathematics. And so law, I think, was just a very natural thing to fall into. My sister studied law. She's 3.5 years older than me, so you follow in those footsteps. It's interesting. My father had 6 children. He was a doctor. 4 of his 6 children studied law. So interesting. None of us did medicine. Yes, I did have side hustles, but not so much during study as when I was on holiday. So I had a scholarship from the French government, which was amazing. It was the kind of scholarship that inspired you to work. So if you passed your exams at the first session, because you could write in June and September, you could rewrite in September. If you passed everything in June, you got a free ticket home. So the incentive to pass in June was really there. And every time I came home to Namibia, I worked. So, not every time, but I worked for Stadford's Van Lines the one time. I worked at Kalahari Sands Interclub. That was my first exposure to sales. And then one time at university, and I still don't know why, because I had a good scholarship, I didn't need to work. I went to go and work in one of these big shops. I think it was it Galerie Lafayette or Printemps, I can't remember. But I was selling shoes.
Je klopt straks de.
Sure.
Thinking about it now.
I worked there for a month, né?
Yeah.
Van stukvoeten. Hi. Old Mutual was amazing. Working there was absolutely amazing. I mean, one of the things of working in Namibia is that you don't have the luxury of just focusing on one thing because we're so small. So your breadth of knowledge is just incomparable to what you would find in some other countries. But that corporate thing, at the time it was for me, and then at some point it just wasn't for me anymore. So because of the training I had at Old Mutual, I have been trained to be a certified financial planner because we used to support financial advisors. We used to give them training. So I had the qualification, and it's really something I fell into by mistake. Not by mistake, but it was meant to be a temporary thing. It was like, I don't know what my future holds, but I know this I don't want to do anymore. And so I started Chase & Associates as a cash cow because I knew, if I'm doing insurance and investments, I will earn an income. And in the meantime, I will try and determine what it is and I would like to do and who I would like to be. But I'm still here 13 years.
Yeah, and still, it's probably still figuring it out, I guess, then, right?
Yes, I am still figuring it out, and figuring it out newly again. The last 2 years has kind of rocked my foundation in a different way, and I'm actually in the process of no. 47. And when you're training people or you're having conversations with clients around what is your retirement planning look like, the competing priorities of your children going to university and you wanting to retire, and do you want to retire? What the hell are you going to do? People who just retire die the next day. Very much in a space of renewal and not clear about what the next step looks like.
Absolutely.
I like Maya Angelou's quote where she says, "Success is liking what you do, and how you do it." But I think for me, if I can add to that, I think it's also it's being clear about what it is that you like, and then doing it. So being committed to your vision and your purpose, and when that changes, being committed to finding what the new thing is and then applying that, or living into that. And I think as human beings, we're constantly renewing ourselves. So success is being willing to take that path, however rocky it is. Being willing to push through the hard steps to get to what it is that you are on this earth for.
Accepting the changes, growing with the blows, and getting to where it is that you need to be.
And also knowing that maybe it's not just one thing, and that you do make mistakes. Sometimes you make choices. I've served on boards and things like that, and often you get caught up in the, oh wow, I got this opportunity, as opposed to, I really don't like what I'm doing. Why am I doing this?
I love the honesty. I love the honesty.
Integrity for me is probably the number one thing. I have to. The kind of industry I work in is one where trust, confidentiality, respect is extremely important. So I can deal with a lot of things, but dishonesty and manipulation and that I cannot do. And I look to people who have a willingness to learn. A lot of people consider me a very hard taskmaster, and maybe it is also because I'm a very hard taskmaster with myself, which is maybe why I struggle to be satisfied with
others.
No, even with myself and with what I do. But what I can pride myself in is a lot of the people who've been through my hand, what they say is what they learn serves a very great purpose for them, especially when they go to the next thing. So that is something that that has me feel really, really good. But I look to people who've got an attitude of learning, maybe not so much about earning, but first let me get this right. Can I tell a small story?
Sure. Go
So
ahead.
I have, so at the moment I'm busy, I've got some new interns that I'm training, and the lady who's been with me for the last 2 years is going back to finish her studies. Now, I mean, I told you I come from an educational background, so there's no question about pack your bags and go.
Yeah.
And so she's going back to finish her degree. I think she's got her last year to finish off. And she's now training these new two. And the way she's blossoming is just like, wow, like how did we not see this before, and take the opportunities of you being able to coach others, you know? And she's literally got a week and a half left before she goes. But the way she's taken on these new opportunities, to be able to share, to hone her own skills, to share with these young ladies and give them feedback, etc. And I've noticed that when I am able to do that with others, that's actually when I'm at my best. When I'm able to contribute to others and to receive from them, that's when I glow. Whew, excitement is an interesting word to choose. But yes, I think I am. I think I'm excited because the onion has been peeled. So we've been cut to the bone.
The tears of
in so many ways. And like they say, when you hit rock bottom, the only way is up. So I'm excited to see how we take what we've been through and use it to push our nation through to something that is bigger and better than any of us could ever imagine.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
That's the words of Afra Schimming-Chase, the founder of Chase and Associates. Speaking of her story, her background as a young girl, finding herself in all these different spaces and how that has contributed to her development in life and finding herself where she is now as the founder of Chase and Associates. That's a wrap of our King Price Royal Hustlers. Let's get back to business with the music as well as pay some bills right here on 99 FM.